eSIMstudios YouTube channel. Appreciate everybody for joining me today. Let me turn on this music a little bit and let me adjust some of these settings real quick, and we will jump right into it. I had to push back the live a little bit, so I apologize about that. Super busy, but you know how it goes. So rolling into the S26 series, we got a lot of news moving forward. We know what devices they're going to take now. We're going to jump into that as far as trade-ins. Have some more photos. I know you've seen one, you've seen them all. But this comes courtesy from a case manufacturer, someone that I'm in talks with a lot. And they have photos on their website now of the S26 Ultra. And one surprising take coming from that I want to take a peek at. And we have information on the Exynos 2600 that will be coming in the smaller variants, the S26, S26 Plus. And what else do we got? Oh yes, how could I forget? Upcoming S27 CPU news. A lot of Samsung today. And there's an article that basically calls out Samsung, saying this is a feature that they did not put in the S26 series is a huge mistake, and it's going to be the downfall of Samsung, and it's going to generate a flop, right? I read this article and I was like, no. So we're going to call them out. I think they're wrong, and we'll jump into that. And then moving into some Apple and iPhone news that deals with Samsung. Right, so let's jump right into it. Appreciate everybody for joining me today. Go follow. I'm going to be streaming on, I was just testing out the stream just right now. I'm going to be streaming live on Facebook as well. Now, it's not under my eSIM, it's not under eSIMstudios on Facebook. There is I believe there's a link. There should be a link under this video it's under my name. It's under my name, Taylor Bell. Let me see if that link is there. Hang on one second. So if you're on Facebook, subscribe. It'll be under my name. I may or may not make a page for eSIMstudios, but it's my page where I put all of my stuff on there. So it won't just be tech news. It'll be websites that I produce, stuff that I'm doing. So I think I got it. Let's see. If you go to the contact section, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, Telegram. No, I don't have my Facebook. I'm going to add it there. So I'll add it there here when this is done, but I'll remind you tomorrow. I'll probably start live streaming on Facebook next week. I'm just trying to get that all set up, right? Now, let's see. So let's jump into, let me share my screen. And let's jump into the trade-in devices, right? There we go. So when you sign up for an S26 Ultra, or I say S26, maybe you're interested in the S26, S26 Plus. I have no idea. They'll be good phones. And I actually do want to try and get one to try out the Exynos 2600. What's going on? Start panting like a dog. Yes. What's going on, brother? Good afternoon. Happy Thursday. Yes, you too. Appreciate it. Yo, been a long day. So normally I'm gonna try to at least live stream every day at a constant time. It's just hard for me to. I got a lot going on. In fact, I have too much going on. I need to scale back a bit. It's hard to do, but appreciate you joining me. I'll try and hammer out a official. I know it's hard too because I do have a lot of subscribers in India, and they're literally 12 hours. So it's 3 in the morning over there. Sometimes when I do it later at 6 or 7, it's 7 in the morning. I'm not going to be, at 3 in the afternoon their time. It would be 3 in the morning my time. That's never going to happen. But anyways, appreciate you joining me. Let's see here. So let me take the comments off so we can take a peek at this. So if you're interested in getting an S26 series, right? We were wondering about trade-ins. Now, apparently it looks like they are going to offer up to $900 for trade-ins. Now, depending on what device you trade in, the trade-in value can get lower and lower and lower the older your device is, right? So that was one thing we did not know moving into this launch of this S26 is trade-ins, trade-in values, and we still don't know basically what every trade-in, what dollar amount they're going to give you. Although we do know one, and then we can kind of scale it back from there to kind of estimate what your trade-in is going to look like. So here is the Samsung website, and it's basically just like all the others, right? Here's for your trade-ins. If you have a Samsung, Apple, Google, and or other. Now, if you have the previous flagship, which would be the S25 series, S25 Ultra, and you would like to trade it in, what do you know? S25 Ultra is on the list, right? They got S25 Ultra, S25 Plus, S25. And then you got Z Fold 6, Z Flip 6, Z Fold 5, and then it goes down from there. Fold 4, Flip 4, Fold 3, Flip 3, Fold 2, Flip, the OG Flip, S24 Ultra series, then you got the S24 Plus, S23 series, S22 series, S21, S20, S10, Note 20 Ultra, if any of y'all have those. Fantastic device. Note 10 Plus, S24 FE. They got the FEs going down to the S20 and then the A series, right? So what we do know is that they said up to $900 trade-in value, right? So the very first one up on the list is the S25 Ultra. That's going to be your $900 trade-in value. So if you have last year's previous flagship, you're going to get they're going to give you $900 for that. If you sign up early, now there's no obligation. You can sign up, and if you choose not to upgrade, no harm, no foul, right? They're not going to force you to. It's just some early perks, right? Now, last year, I think 2 years ago, I think they were doing $100 off, right? Last year, it was $50 off, I believe. And this year, it's $30 off. So you can see how Samsung, remember, they're not raising the prices on these devices. So they're going to have to tweak the whole trade-in process. I thought they were going to offer less for your trade-ins. Now, they might do that on some older devices, but at least those of you that have the previous flagship, the S25 Ultra, it looks like you're going to get $900 for that. And that's good news. So if you want to trade in your S25 Ultra, if you're in my shoes, you're going to get $900 for this, plus $30 for signing up early, right? So let's go through the math and what you can expect to pay. Now, this is, I'm going to try to do taxes as well, and taxes are going to vary depending on where you live. I'm in Texas, so let's say $930 for your S25 Ultra if you select this right here. And then you get $30 for your trade-in, right? So it's $930. And then how much is the base S25 Ultra? $1299, right? So let's do $1299. That's for the 12 gig 256 gig variant. That's one thing they're not going to do. I still believe they're not going to do double your storage. I think this year, I think that's gone. That's another way for them. A lot of people don't want the base model, right? Like me. So I'm going to have to pay more for their higher storage variant. It's another way for them to kind of tweak the trade-in process to try to make as much profit as possible. But let's just say, let's roll with the base model, $1299 minus $930. So that's $369 you're going to have to pay with on top of trading in your previous year's flagship. That's not that bad. Now, taxes. So let me do some taxes real quick. 369 times 1.0825 comes out to $399. Very strategic. Samsung knows this. So you're roughly paying just under $400, $399. And this is including taxes, in taxes. for the new S26 Ultra. That's for the base model. Now, if you're going to be getting the 512 gig storage, I hope they do they keep double your storage. That would sure help out a lot of benefit a lot of people. So, if you want to get the 512 gig variant, I think that's like $150 extra. So you can add 150 on $399. So it's $549 if you plus your S25 Ultra if you want to get the 26 Ultra. And then what was the terabyte model? Was it? I don't even remember. I've never purchased one. I'm just gonna add on another 150. Could be more, could be less. Let's see here. $699. So looks like the numbers are kind of strategically placed, right? So it could be worse if you just want to get your foot in the door. Look, I know some, even myself, buy the base model, the 256 gig variant, and then add a storage device, meaning a Type-C plug-in, and you can add a little storage device on there for your extra storage. You can get away with 256 even if you do record a lot of video, take a lot of pictures, you can back them up in your cloud storage. You can delete them as you go. So it's not, you just have to be on top of it, but it is possible. Shit, I may even do that. I don't know. We're gonna see. I'm gonna get 2 of them. So yeah, not cheap. But moving on to the other ones, S25 Plus probably gonna give you, what do y'all think? 700 probably for the Plus. Possibly 650 for the S25. And then you go with the Z Fold 6. Now they should have them as you see them here on the screen. That's going to be, the value is going to go down as we go down the list. So they're going to give you more for the S25, for the base S25, than for the Z Fold 6. Now I know the Z Fold 6 holds a higher resale value than the S25. If you go on Swappa and you price these 2 phones, yeah, the Fold 6 is going to cost more if you want to buy one than the S25, but Samsung doesn't see it that way. They have all these formulations. They have people that they hire just for figuring all this stuff out. But as you see the list go down, the trade-in values get less and less and less. So if you have one of these devices, you could probably knock off an extra $100 as we go down the list, something like that. But some of them will remain the same as you go down. But $900 for the S25 Ultra. At least that's good news for people that have the Ultra, last year's Ultra, right? So, but whatever. Some people say it's worth it, some not. But I'm gonna be getting one. So it looks like $399 with tax on top of that. Now, let's look at some of the others. Now, they don't tell you. I'm assuming the iPhone 17 Pro Max, I'm assuming that's going to be $900 as well. Some of them are weird with iPhone. If you try and buy a new iPhone and you go on Apple's website, they give you, it's embarrassing. They're almost throwing it in Android users' face. So if you go on Apple's website to buy a new iPhone and they ask you, do you have a trade-in? And you say yes, and you select an S25 Ultra as a trade-in for your 17 Pro Max, it's embarrassing. They give you like your trade-in value for that S25 Ultra is like $230. Like $230? Like this phone, if I sell it right now, I get like $800 for it. But if you trade in last year's flagship, the 16 Pro Max, they give you, I don't know, $900 for it. You know, all the Android phones, they just are absolute shit prices. It's funny how Apple does that. It's almost like I think they're trolling. I think they're doing that on purpose, right? But I don't know what these trade-in values are for iPhones. I'm assuming it'll be all right. I don't think Samsung is at that level. They do give you decent trade-in values on Pixel devices. Now, very interestingly, check this out. Oh yeah, there is no Pixel 10 series. No Pixel 10 trade-ins. It's only Pixel 9 and below. Now let's go back to Samsung. There's one device, or actually 2 devices that are missing from the trade-ins. The Fold 7 and Flip 7. So if you have a Fold 7, I have a Flip 7 right now, the red one I've had in my last few videos. I bought that dirt cheap. I repaired it and I fixed the software, and now it's back to normal. I bought it for $200, brand new Flip 7, right? It was blocked. Well, guess what? I unlocked it and now it works fine. And I was going to use this as a trade-in for the S26 Ultra, and now I find out, or last night, that they're not accepting the Flip 7 or Fold 7. So I'm like, oh, the whole reason why I bought it was to buy it cheap, repair it, trade it in. But now that I can't do that, I'm going to sell it on the side and use that money, right, to upgrade. But if you have a Flip 7 or a Fold 7, you're shit out of luck. So that sucks. Let's see what else. Apple, they're offering 17 all the way down. Of course, they want you to trade in an iPhone for a brand new Samsung. And again, Pixel, no 10 series, 9 all the way down. And then what is other? Other would be like OnePlus. Other would be like Motorola. Probably give you 100, 200 bucks, which is not even worth it, right? So as we get closer to the launch of the S26 series, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned to the videos that I upload. I may do a live stream of this in the future here in the next week, and then take video clips from it. But I'm going to show you how to maximize the best deal for you if you want to upgrade. I've done it every single year for last, I guess, since this channel's 3 years old. Every year I have your options when it comes to trading in. Like if you did what I did, you find a phone out on the aftermarket on Facebook Marketplace, Swappa, OfferUp, Mercari, you find an absolute steal. I'm going to show you how to buy low, sell high. So basically, we'll get to the details probably next week, but stay tuned to the channel. I'm going to show you how to find good deals when it comes to trade-ins, right? I do it every year, and you can save a few $100. So any little bit helps, right? But this is the Samsung pre-order thing. I'm sure everybody, what's going on, man? I'm sure everybody's seen that by now. Let's see. Apple online store will not accept Android phones for trade-in. I do not. When was that? Because they must have done that maybe in the last year, because when I was referencing in my brain, because I think it was probably two years ago. I think it was for when I was looking into getting a 16. I remember them offering just embarrassing low trade-in deals for Android devices. Maybe they stopped doing it altogether, like you said. I haven't checked right in the last year or two. So maybe you're right. Maybe that's not even a possibility even more anymore. But let's move on to the S26 Ultra and what it looks like. So Thinborn, if you go on their website, Thinborn is now selling their new case for the S26 series. And what do you know? It's an orange. Now the two, we all know what the colors are, right? The white, the black, the light blue, and the cobalt purple. Well, the two colors we still don't know about are the Samsung exclusive colors, the ones that they do a really good job of keeping those secret until launch day. Because as far back as I can remember, I don't think the Samsung exclusive colors have been leaked pre-launch, right? But the long rumored orange iPhone copycat looks to be real now. I'm in touch with Thinborn on the back end, right? But I didn't ask them, hey, so how these cases work when these manufacturers, they get dummy units, right? Like I have a dummy unit of an S25 Ultra, and that's how they can do their molds around, make their cage manufacture for the manufacturing process, get their molds just right and see how it looks and test out cases on them. I didn't ask them, hey, was that dummy unit, was it orange? I don't know, but I keep on seeing orange, and I know there's been reports saying there will not be any orange, but I keep on seeing orange. So I sure hope that's not the case. But let's take a look at some of these pictures because this case looks pretty freaking cool. You can see how thin it is. Now, on this picture, I think they messed up, because check this out. On the orange iPhone, now I don't know if Thinborn messed up or however they generated these photos, but you have an orange S26 Ultra, but then the side rail, the mid frame, the rail here, the side is silver. But check this out. So, shit. What happened? Oh, down at the bottom. Now you have a silver ring, silver phone, silver border. But look at this one. Orange S26 Ultra. Now you have the orange border on there. Probably just an overlook, you know. Could have been generated, computer generated. I'm not sure, but those cases look really, really nice. Now Thinborn, I think they're gonna have two cases. If you go on their social media accounts, Thinborn has this traditional case right here, and I'm gonna review this one for sure for the S26 Ultra. But they also have a even thinner case with the bottom section kind of cut out, so you have full access to the S Pen and stuff like that. But we will get into all of the case reviews. We'll get into all that stuff. Obviously, down the line, I've been in contact with a few more case companies just in the past 24 hours, getting all those cases shipping set up. So we're gonna have a bunch of case reviews for this device here in the next few months, and actually I guess within the next couple weeks when they get launched. I already have cases here to review for them, so stay tuned. But there are more and more pictures rolling out as we get closer to the launch date. Now S26 series in the Exynos 2600, went through this yesterday. The Ultra is getting the Snapdragon worldwide, and the Exynos 2600 is coming in the base and the plus model. Now, the only thing we don't know is what markets are getting what, right? Because there is a chance or two that the S26 and or S26 Plus could have the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, depending on if you're in America or if you're in the UK or you're in India. We just don't know. But majority of the base and the plus models are going to have Exynos 2600. Now, this CPU was just certified by ARM and their SME2 technology. So what is ARM's SME2 technology? It is a sort of specialized AI certification on how fast the processor works and how fast it processes data. So this helps the CPU handle AI tasks like object detection up to 70% faster. I actually really want to get my hands on one of these, and I'm waiting to see the availability before I do, because the more I look into this, the more I want to grab one and test it out. Now, there's an article that came out today saying the S26 has underwhelming performance with the Exynos CPU, but I think they're just retooling the CPU. So look at this. Let me pull up a photo. So, global S26 performance. About a month ago, the Korean version of the S26, this is the base model with the Exynos 2600. Do you remember, I think we briefly touched on it. It got spotted on Geekbench scoring 3314 in the single core. Pretty freaking high. In fact, extremely high. And 11,450 points in multi-core testing. Now, that blows away, I think, any other CPU. I think, off the top of my head, I can't think of any scores that can top that. So once we saw that, whoa, what are they messing with over here? Now, that was just to knock your socks off, right? That was with it cranked up probably to the max, right? And that was probably in a very cold test environment. Literally, I'm not even joking, where they tested in a freezer or have some kind of external cooling on the back. Remember, we don't know this. They're just trying to put out the very high scores they can achieve to make headlines like this, right? So, and it did, right? Like, holy shit, what a wow. Wow. Now, a test came out, what was it, yesterday, S26 with the Exynos 2600, where it scored a 2300 single core and 9000 multi-core. And some people are like, whoa, hold up, that's not good. No, this is normal. A lot of CPU manufacturers and or phone manufacturers that have a new CPU in them that'll debut on a brand new device, they do this for test, but they have testing behind the scenes, meaning they don't have to put it on Geekbench because they have own internal benchmarking. When they put it on Geekbench, they know it's public, right? But I think what they're doing is, and this should not alarm you, right? You've seen the maximum it can produce, right? Which is a lot. But then you see little underwhelming scores that yesterday. Now, I think what they're doing is they're just tweaking the CPU. They're trying to find a good balance. You're going to see another one or two of Geekbench scores come to light with the S26 and the Exynos 2600 because they're just trying to fine tune it, basically is what they're doing. So they scaled it all the way up a month ago, and now they're kind of bringing it back down to the baseline to try to fine tune it. Now, where does the end result fall on launch day? Meaning, like when they ship them out, where is it going to score in your benchmark testing? Somewhere in between, right? I don't think it's gonna score a 3300 single core and 11,000 multi-core score. Like when you get those, it's probably somewhere in between. So I think the sweet spot is probably 3,000 single core, probably 10 and a half on multi-core, right? The levels that were tested yesterday are basically the same levels as the Motorola Signature. That's basically what this scored on the Geekbench testing that I did. So those are not bad scores. Like that's still this. I mean, that's what the Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 produces, what this has in it. It's just not top of the charts, right? So I think it'll score somewhere right in between there. But good to know that, yeah, they do it. That's all. It hypes the devices. It gets people like you and me spotting this in the news. I'm like, holy shit, they're doing their job, right? And that's what it's for. Geekbench is public. The results are public. So they know what they're doing. You can't wait to get your signature. Did you order one? I think you did, right? You got the 16, you got the 1 terabyte, right? Yeah, we're going to get into this here in just a second. We are going to get into this in just a second. In fact, let's get into it right now. So let me pull this up real quick. So there's a article here by Android Police. Now, this article is basically saying that the S26 Ultra is missing out on a key feature, and if you read later down in the post in the conclusion section, they estimate it's going to be a flop, meaning they're just not going to sell as many as they could, right? And I don't believe that. So they're claiming in this article that the lack of wireless charging 2.0 magnets in the back of the phone is going to essentially kill this phone. And I could not disagree anymore. In my opinion, Apple users are very familiar with the magnets in the back of the phone for wireless charging standard 2.0, right? Where basically you don't need a case. You can just slap your phone up on a wireless charger. Android users aren't really familiar with that, quite honestly. And people like me, I don't care. And I don't think majority of people will either. We're not used to slapping a naked phone up on a wireless charger. Now, would that be cool? I guess, but I always have a case on my phone. So what do I care, right? And I think most Android users are kind of in that same boat, right? Like it's not gonna the only devices with magnets inside the phone is Pixel 10. I mean there may be a Chinese phone out there that has magnets in the back, but as far as I can think of, it's just the Pixel, right? And I don't use my Pixel 10 like that. It always has a case on it, right? So I'm gonna need a ring and a case for my Pixel 10. Well, I'm gonna need a ring and a case for the S26 Ultra. I have a ring in my case for my iPhone 17 Pro. Now I know some people use their phones naked, but meaning with no case. But I mean, everybody's different. But I rarely. I have. Goes to show you how badass this phone is. I've been using this all day with no case. I freaking love it. The back, the way it feels, it's thin, it's light, it's incredible. I love using this with no case, but I don't wirelessly charge my devices. Now, getting into Bluetooth S Pen, there's not going to be any Bluetooth S Pen. Now, that is more of a fatal flaw than these stupid magnets in the back of the phone, like Android Police is putting out. That will turn off more potential users of this S26 Ultra than magnets would, because that was a huge gripe rolling in this time last year into the S25 Ultra. People are like, what the hell, you took Bluetooth away? Now we got news throughout the year that they were going to add it back. In fact, I even got news that behind the scenes that they were going to add it back, but there's been no mention of Bluetooth S Pen moving into this S26 series. And we would know by now if it had a Bluetooth S Pen, it would have Bluetooth certification by now. Now, the S26 is going to roll through the FCC here, I think. If not tomorrow, it'll probably be next week. That will confirm if it will have Bluetooth S Pen, because it has to have it has to get Bluetooth certified. That would emit, the S Pen would emit in electronic frequency, and all those have to be certified here in the United States. So it'll be confirmed next week, but I have not seen and or heard anything about Bluetooth and or an S Pen in this series. And it's a shame, because I use my S Pen all the time, and I was looking forward to that feature coming back, right? Now, if it does not come back this year, I'm never going to say never, but I don't really see it coming back anytime soon if they don't put it on this one, you know? It should be May or June window, might come. Oh, your signature. Yeah, I think it's going to be Edge 70 Ultra, I think is what they're going to be calling it. And then what about the Fold though? Probably Edge Fold or Fold Edge. I don't know, something like that. This supports S Pen. I'm trying to get a hold of the Motorola S Pen. Motorola Stylus. I haven't seen any for sale. Can't buy it on their website. But I'm gonna get a hold of one because it'll work on the signature and on the Fold as well. So their Fold is gonna kill Samsung at their own game. The signature Fold, Motorola, is gonna have flagship cameras, and it'll have S Pen support. So take that, Samsung. I'm fine with that. They haven't had high-end Edge in the US since 2023. No case on my phones. Yes, me too. That's why I will never leave the house without a case. I can guarantee you that. Anxiety, yep. I got the S23 Ultra, S24 Ultra, and S25 Ultra. But this year is a big no. I won't forgive myself, knowing the Find X9 Ultra is far better. That's something I want to get my hands on. And before we move on real quick, that reminds me of some thinking I was doing with this Motorola signature in the Oppo Find X9. So they actually share the same cameras. The Find X9. Hang on. Does the Find X9 Pro, because I don't know, in Find X9 Ultra, do those have the same sensors? I think so, but I'm not sure. But the Find X9 Pro is basically, it has the same sensors as the Signature, but it has the operating system of like Oxygen OS, right? Basically, Color OS. I think these Motorola Signature cameras are phenomenal. However, I don't think they're fully optimized for the phone yet, the Signature. Now, that's very encouraging because it looks like there is a ton of improvements. It gets some fantastic shots. And that was just the video I uploaded yesterday, just a small fraction of what I have. I was time crunched yesterday and had to throw it, had to put up a third of my pictures. I'm going to put up another longer video with more samples for you for the Motorola Signature. It has very good cameras, but I don't think it's fully optimized yet. Now, that falls on Motorola developers, right, to fine-tune these sensors, but it can be done, and I'm expecting it to be done. But it can take some phenomenal shots. There's just a few things. I'll probably upload a video tomorrow kind of showing some inaccuracies and or inconsistencies. Not a lot, right? Majority of shots are great. But every now and then I see a shot that I'll delete or bypass because there is a slight issue with it. But I'll make a separate video about that. But the phone is great. Cameras are phenomenal. But I'll put a video showing what I'm talking about probably tomorrow. Color OS. I didn't mind it so much, just all in Mandarin. There's just some Chinese stuff you can't delete, like with the OnePlus 13 I got. You can change the operating system to English, but there's some apps on there that you can't change to English, some stock apps. That's kind of annoying. I might spring for base S26 only because of how few smaller phones there are. It's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. I know that. I'm hoping MDC will have Pixel Cam mod for the Signature by the time mine arrives. That might be the same guy I've subscribed to. I saw Motorola Signature before I got one, a review, and apparently he develops Gcams and was saying he's working on one. Maybe the same guy. It's funny you say that because I was looking for one this morning. I have a couple of Gcam apps on here. I guess you can't. And I'm going to look into that. I'm going to do a video about that too once one becomes available. I've been digging through some of the stuff, but I'll find a good one. Now, let's see here. iPhone. So, nice. Yeah, if there's a Gcam available for the Signature, it's probably coming soon, right? I would think so. Let's see here. Samsung is gearing up to accommodate Apple iPhone flip displays. So Samsung made and or turned a whole manufacturing plant into a display manufacturing plant just for iPhone fold displays, that one that's coming out later this year in September. And now Samsung is getting ready to dedicate an entire manufacturing plant to iPhone flip displays. Now, the iPhone flip is not expected to be launched until next year, I believe, in September. So we're still a good, 20 months away, something like that, in September of 2027. But that was on their roadmap. And now that we inch closer into the future, you can see how some of these things start to develop, right? So Samsung is apparently their number one manufacturer. Samsung reached out to, I think it was BOE and what was it? It was Samsung and BOE for the iPhone 17 displays. BOE, the quality control for BOE did not meet Apple standards, and actually um, um, they actually cut the deal. They actually stopped using BOE as a manufacturer. So it looks like Samsung, obviously, they make fantastic displays. They make displays for obviously the Samsung device, for Pixel devices, for iPhones. I think OnePlus uses BOE, I think. But they make fantastic displays. And here's another hint that you're getting a flip style phone from iPhone, although it's going to be a little longer wait, but I'm not a fold type of person, right? I like flip phones. I'm using my Flip 7 as a webcam, so I like that. I like that a lot. But just be on the lookout. Apple's got some tricks up their sleeve here in the next couple of years. They're going to be launching some really cool stuff. I'm not a iPhone enthusiast, but it is cool to see kind of behind the scenes stuff. Now, speaking about upcoming iPhone stuff, real quick before we get out of here, here is 3 known design changes coming to the iPhone 18 Pro. Should be launched alongside the new iPhone Fold, and it's going to have a similar look and feel with just slight changes, right? So you're getting a unified rear glass and aluminum colors. So where the glass meets the antenna bars, meets the back of the back panel and the camera island, is just slightly going to be refined and tweaked. But overall, it's going to look the same to an average person. It's going to look like an iPhone. But to people that look a little farther, like me and you, I think we will be able to tell just the slight differences in designing, in the design, right? And of course, knowing Apple, they're going to tweak something just slightly to where you can't use a last year's cases for the 17 series, right? They're going to make you have to buy all new cases and accessories for this lineup, right? That's where everybody gets it from. Apple's the starter of that. You're going to get smaller dynamic islands. We've mentioned a couple times of the new technology that the sensors are just getting better design, better technology, and the dynamic island is going to get smaller. So there's been some talk about putting a camera underneath the display. Now, Apple uses more than one camera sensor, especially for their Face ID technology. But I think one of them, they are either going to cram it into a less surface area, or they're going to potentially put one of those cameras underneath the display to make a smaller dynamic island. And don't forget that report of the upcoming iPhone, the 20th anniversary edition. It's going to be all display. So that's the plan, is to put these sensors under the display. It's been done before. Xiaomi has, and I think another company, Red Magic, puts out. Now, camera quality takes a slight hit, and that's why it hasn't really caught on yet. But I look for Apple and or other companies to adopt that sort of technology here in the next few years. I think it's going to rapidly develop. Technology is going to increase here to where it should get a 1-to-1 ratio as far as a selfie with a hole punch and a selfie with a under display. I think in a couple years here, it's going to be basically a 1-to-1 ratio, meaning I don't think you're going to be able to tell a difference here pretty soon. And then you're going to get new colors, of course. That's, nobody knows, but they're guessing a purple, a bronze, and a berry color. I don't think you're going to see, I think you're going to see boring colors with one color change, like how the iPhone, the orange one. Of course, the blue was kind of a new color. But you're not going to get 3 new colors, right? You're going to get, I don't know, 1, maybe 2. Pop up. Yeah. That was cool. I had that OnePlus. What was it? The OnePlus 7 Pro? And you know what was cool is when the selfie camera was extended, it had a sensor in there. If you drop the phone, the selfie camera would real quick drop back down into place, so you wouldn't damage that sensor that popped up, that mechanism. So I thought that was pretty cool back in the day. Damn, my hair is jacked up today. I think that was back in the day. That was really cool. Yeah, I had that. It was really nice. Very nice. That was when OnePlus was on top of their game, right? 7 Pro, 6T. I love the 6T. Yeah, it was 7 Pro. Yeah, that was a nice phone. I remember, man, I've gotten so many. I remember for the 5T, I had to drive. I drove to Austin, and then like an hour and a half away. And then I think back in the day when the OG Pixel came out, the very, very first Pixel, not Nexus, but the Pixel. I remember the blue one. I drove to Austin again. Somebody claimed they worked for Google, had 2 of them for sale. I drove to Austin at like 1 or 2 in the morning because he said he was meeting somebody at, I don't know, 10 a.m. And I was like, he said, well, if you can get here, but you know, now I can sell them to you. And I remember driving to Austin at like 1 or 2 in the morning just for phones. Yeah, I got a lot more stores like that, but that's when they first came out. Nobody had them. It was Nexus days, right? It's like, holy crap, what is this? A Pixel? And the entry-level MacBook. Before we get out of here, entry-level MacBook. So this is apparently, Apple's really anticipating this to be a big money earner for Apple. This is going to equate for 25% of all 2025 MacBook sales and or revenue. Just to let you know, Apple, if you're not aware, is going to release mid-range MacBooks, low-cost MacBooks, MacBooks that start out at $600 to $700, instead of starting at I don't even know what they start at, 1,000, right? Now it's going to have a iPhone processor. I think it's going to have the Bionic A18 Pro CPU. When you first hear that, you're like, a phone CPU. They're pretty. It can handle most tasks, right? I mean, look, shit, you do everything from your phone now, right? The only downside is it's only going to have, base model's only going to have 8 gigs of RAM. Now, they're doing that because of the RAM shortage in the world, essentially. Now, there will be 16 gig variants if you want to upgrade, but they're going to start them out at 8 gigs of RAM, which, in theory, if you don't do much, if you just need a little laptop to get office work done, emails, you're not going to be gaming, you're not going to be editing videos, photos, this should be fine, right? And I can't believe Apple has not thought of this beforehand, quite frankly, because that's why people get Chromebooks. That's why people get $400 laptops at Best Buy, right? Really good deals sometimes. If Apple had a MacBook, an entry-level MacBook that started at $600, they're gonna sell a gazillion of these things. A gazillion. Now, I wouldn't recommend photo edit. Don't get fooled now. Don't buy one to edit your YouTube videos on, right? Don't buy one to play a bunch of games on, because will it do that? Sure. But will it do it good? No, it probably won't. It'll handle most tasks, but just not efficiently. But I think this is a killer idea, and they're looking that the price range of the $400 to $600 price range for computers and or laptops is an enormous market, because there's a lot of college students, right? College budget. There's a lot of high school students. Maybe you want to get your kid their first real PC, but you don't want to buy a $1,500 MacBook. You can get on this $600, $599 brand new MacBook, and it'll do all your daily tasks. But it's very smart, very strategic for Apple to try and fit inside this little, I say little, this huge, gigantic sliver, this price range right here. They're going to sell, these things are going to be sold out. I'm telling you, this is going to be enormous. So I know everybody in Apple is probably very excited for this, for the launch of these entry-level MacBooks. I think it's a fantastic idea business-wise. And quite frankly, I don't know why they haven't done this earlier. I think I know why, but I think it bit them in the ass. They want exclusivity. They want to be the premium. It's a honor. It's a prestigious time when you can have a MacBook. Well, yeah, that's all fine and dandy, but when it comes down to the bottom line, when your shareholders demand more revenue, higher profit margins, everything, this is one fantastic idea that I don't think there's many cons, right? Pros and cons. Like everybody, if you want a flagship MacBook, if you want to feel prestigious, go out and get you a $2,500 MacBook, right? Because they're out there. But they're missing out on sales because people, look, majority of people don't have $2,500 to spend on a computer. $400 to $600 is pushing it, right? And I think they're going to sell a gazillion of these. So I don't think I'm going to grab one. But I know millions of people will. The upcoming portable Mac, I don't know why it's portable. The upcoming inexpensive MacBook is estimated for record shipments between 5.5 million units and 7.9 million units, with an affordable price and decent hardware being the primary reasons for upgrading. Now, they say a base price, this is estimate, $699 to $799. There's going to be deals, right? MacBooks on the Apple apps, not Apple App Store, on the Apple website. A lot of times they'll drop $100 off. Best Buy will have deals. Amazon will have deals. You'll be able to get one of these probably for about $600, right? I think $100 sale will be common, where instead of $699, it'll be $599. 8 gigs of RAM. Let's see. Yep, there's the A18 Bionic CPU. A18 Pro. Now, what display will this have? Let's see. Apple shipped between 24 and 25 million Macs in 2025. Even though its base MacBook Air sports an attractive price to performance ratio, the company didn't have any product occupying the lower tier, right? That's what I was saying earlier. Now, a release date does not say. I would expect this to come out, what are we, February? I would expect this to come out probably, when is their next MacBook? Probably in 2 to 3 months. Definitely before September, before the new iPhones come out. I think this will come out sometime probably before semesters get started. Probably would be a smart choice right at the beginning of the summer, so people can save up for the summer and purchase when school starts in the fall. I'm assuming fall semester. So your dream phone would be a modern sidekick with a swivel screen. Yeah, I was talking about that the other day. The Clicks communicator, and then there's like the Titan 2. Is that right? Do y'all have any desire to purchase one of those and or use one of those? Now, I looked into the Clicks communicator, and I don't know. I don't see the I'm not sure it's going to succeed. I hope they do, right? The more the better, but it's $400, and I know it's not supposed to be spec'd out, right? It's not that type of phone. It does have some decent specs, 50 megapixel sensor on the back. but it has a MediaTek CPU, but it's just for communication purposes, right? Clicks keyboard, Clicks communicator, BlackBerry style, Android 16 phone, $499, early bird $399. Now, built-in tactile keyboard designed for fast typing, reduce and purpose-built. 4-inch AMOLED, 8 gigs of RAM, 4 nanometer MediaTek processor. Yeah, the specs are not going to blow you away because of the price, and that's just not what the phone, the intended target audience is looking for. The target audience is not somebody that takes a lot of pictures and videos. The target audience is not somebody that does gaming or editing. It's for communication. It's like they're taking a step back into the BlackBerry world where it's a lot of business stuff, emails, messaging, communication. That's what it's mainly the target audience is going to be for. It's a great business model. If they can maneuver this niche market, I think it can succeed. And I hope it does. Like, I really hope it does. I doubt I'm going to buy one. I doubt I'm going to use one. But I think that option needs to be there for everybody. Now, let me look at what is the other one called? Is it the Clicks? No. Titan. Here we go. Damn, this one looks this one. I don't know. This one might look better. Now, it might just look better because it has a nice AMOLED screen. But didn't the other one have AMOLED? They need to show off that AMOLED screen. This is what catches attention, not a boring gray screen. Because when you see a picture of this and then you see a picture of this, you're like, whoa, what is that? Let's see the specs. They should be priced around the same. How do I get this stupid ad off of my screen? So, Unihertz's upcoming Titan 2 Elite will come in both gray and orange colorways. Both models come with QWERTY keyboards and dual rear cameras. The Clicks 2 communicator only has one. We don't know anything else about the hardware yet. Full reveal coming at MWC in March. So what do we know about it, right? Unihertz YouTube channel today. Let's see. Teaser showed the gray version and orange. Let's see. Volume rocker, SIM card tray, rectangular camera bump, wide, ultra wide. Let's see it real quick. Damn it. Look at these freaking ads. That looks a little hefty. Damn, the back looks like pixel. Wow. Interesting. Huh. At least the phone won't wobble when it's on a flat surface. That Clicks 2 communicator only has one sensor and it's on the back of the left. So it will wobble if it's on a flat surface. At least they're smart about that, right? Nobody wants a wobbling phone. Although we got quite a few of them. But interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I would like to try one. It's been years. And I've had Blackberries, right? I've had iPhone back in the day. There was I got them when they first came out, and then I didn't have them for 10 plus years. But I would like to try. I would like to try one of these. Shoot, maybe both, and just see. I would like to take it around, take it with me, see if I like the physical keyboard, I might try and reach out to them because I was on Click Communicator, their website last night, and they have a link for creators to sign up to. I know they already sent out a batch, right? There's been a bunch of creators that have showcased this on their YouTube channel. I had no interest at the time, but now that I think about it, I'm like, I think I would like to give that a try. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna reach out to both of them here in just a minute. But let me let you go. Been on here way. I could talk tech for hours, but I've been on here for way too long. I got to get back to work, but I do appreciate the time. Tomorrow, I am going to. Back when keyboards were popular, I wanted a Samsung Blackjack. Ooh, damn! I think I had that. Oh yeah. No, I didn't have that one. I was going to, but never. I got something else. I think that's when I got a BlackBerry. I remember that. I sure do. Huh. Cool. So tomorrow I'll probably upload. I'll go through some photos in the signature and go through the camera app and show you what it looks like and just show you where they could improve on some of their camera quality. But again, almost every photo is great, right? But every now and then you'll get one that you can see just needs a little tweaking. So I'll probably upload that tomorrow, and then what else? I have another app review to do, and we'll go live tomorrow and talk about the latest and greatest technology news. Remember, I'm gonna probably start streaming as well as YouTube on Facebook. I'm not gonna just switch to Facebook. I'm gonna still live stream on YouTube, but I'll put a link for that down below. But other than that, I appreciate your time. Hope everybody had a good day and enjoys the rest of the afternoon. And what's tomorrow? Friday? Ooh, we'll do giveaway tomorrow. How about that? Giveaway Friday. Um, and I'll probably live stream on Facebook as well. And we'll do giveaway tomorrow. So I'll go ahead and schedule that, put a thumbnail up so everybody will be reminded. Maybe a little late, maybe not. Hopefully, we'll be on time tomorrow. But appreciate it. And we'll see y'all tomorrow. Giveaway Friday. Don't miss it. Take care. Be safe. That is true. That is true. Did you see iPhone on the latest iOS 26.3? Apple implemented a feature to make it easy to switch to Android phones. Whoa. Maybe we'll look into that tomorrow. I don't know, but I just thought that was interesting. Oh wow. 15 days left, huh? I'm gonna email them right now. I'm gonna look into that right now. But I think I'm gonna try to get a hold of one or both of those, the Titan 2 or the Click Communicator. So I do a lot of messaging. I'm on my that actually would work out perfect for me, not just for YouTube, but I'm talking about other stuff that I'm involved in. So I'm gonna look into that right now. Appreciate the tip, and I'll see you tomorrow.